Hello friends, and welcome to my hobby home. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Cathy and we are working on our Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler Quilt Along Flowering. We are doing block 6. It's called Filling Freesia Block. Now, Fat Quarter Shop, they do use Camille Ross Kelly's Summertime. I'm using whatever is in my stash. I will kind of give you a rundown of some of the fabrics. I'm not sure who all of them are from. This one is Old Glory. This is fabric that I had left over from the Land That I Love quilt that Tammy and I made over on her channel, The Siberian Wind. This right here is Tango. It's a fat quarter that I got at Miss Ava's baby shower. I believe this is Camille Ross Kelly, but it's not Summertime. It's a different line. But this also came in a bundle that I got with Camille Ross Kelly. It may be Camille Ross Kelly. It may not, but I like it. It kind of does match the color and the pattern in the block that they did. So let's get into it. Guys, I am getting braver and braver. I have not marked my fabrics. This is a paid for pattern, so I will not be telling measurements here. We will be using 1/4 inch seams unless otherwise stated. So what we are doing is we are making 4. I have 4 of these. They call this the Yellow Bloom. So we're making 4, and what we'll do is we'll take this and put a white square in the top and bottom corner here, and then we'll trim it, press it, and then we'll do the alternating corners. So, and y'all have to forgive me, please. If I sneeze or sniffle, it's that time. It's that time of the year, you know. Everybody's sneezing and sniffling here. We are having a beautiful day. I hope you are having a beautiful day. Even if the weather is not beautiful, I hope you're still having a beautiful day. I am. You may be able to hear my AC running. We are in the lower 90s, which is great for us. As long as it's not that 100. You know, we just don't like seeing that 100. And this right here is white on white. So I do have to kind of look at it to make sure I'm sewing right sides together. And all I'm doing is just laying that fabric and putting the points on that center line mark and just going with it. Am I a pro at this? Absolutely not. Am I perfect at it? At nothing. I am not perfect. We live with our imperfections and embrace them. My imperfection is I think I can do all of the things, and I embrace that I think I can do all of the things and rejoice in the ones that I do finish. So, I think I can do it all, but I know I can't. So, today is Friday. I don't even know what number it is, like 25th, 26th, something like that. And it is after lunchtime. It's actually almost 1 o'clock, and I am just now getting into my sewing room to bring y'all a video today. But guys, I was up until 2 o'clock this morning putting together an end table. My end table finally came in. I had ordered an end table. I don't even know who I ordered it from, but I just went on Google and I was searching a particular type of end table. I wanted narrow. I wanted wood, no glass, and I wanted it to have an electrical outlet on it where I could charge my phone and all that without having to have a you know, a plug cord out in the open, because my receptacles are my outlets. I'm having some flickering here, guys. I don't know what that means. But I have an outlet behind my couch, and I don't want to have to get behind the couch. So what I have is a like a surge protector that brings the outlet outward, you know, past my love seat. And I just don't like having those cords hanging out. So what I'm going to do is put that cord, that surge protector, under my love seat and plug my end table into that cord under the love seat, so it's not out in the open. Because like I do have grandbabies, that my grandson, he's all interested in everything on my end table beside my chair, because a lot of times it has something on it for him. He likes to sit his drink on it, and even though I have one of those little folding dinner trays that I always sit his cup and his bowl on, he has a high chair that converts to a chair and table. And I always have that sitting out when he comes. I've just put a, you know, those plastic tablecloths. I put a plastic tablecloth on my floor and sit his chair and table on it. And he'll play on that tablecloth, you know, as long as he has food out, that's what's on the floor for him to play on. Now, once the food goes away, we bring out the quilts, because he likes to play on the quilts. He likes to lay on the quilts too and rest. Okay, well, y'all, that happened real quick. I was able to get that both corners done. So what I will do is trim these corners off, press them out, and then I will come back and put the other 2 squares on these. So y'all stay with me and I'll be right back. Now, friends, I'm going to tell you, pay particular attention to the instructions and how they tell you to press, because this step has us pressing towards the center. The next step has us pressing towards the outside. So, yeah, that caught me off guard. Good thing I double checked and looked, because normally I press outward on everything. Just a habit I have. Some of these look like they're going to need a little help in the trimming phase. So hopefully they don't look too bad come trimming phase. As long as I get the size that they say I should be getting, I'm going to be okay. And that's another thing. When you're making blocks, if it gives you a measurement, sometimes they don't. I'm not saying that fat quarter shops don't, but some patterns may not give you what the measurement should be after a certain step, and that's okay. But when they do give you a measurement, try to trim down to that measurement. Make sure you're getting that measurement. And sometimes there can be typos or print errors. We have seen that recently. I think it's a possible typo in a clue for another quilt that I'm sewing on. And actually, a viewer brought my attention to it. I did not measure my final piece, and I don't know why. Something happened and I did not measure it, because I normally do measure. But this one did. My measurement did not come out the same. It was actually several inches difference. So I believe that was a typo in the pattern, possibly. So I'm just going to say that's possibly what it was, just a typo. Because you can't make fabric grow once it's cut, that's it. And if you cut based off of what they're telling you, then it's a pattern issue. But I'm not saying this pattern has an issue, because so far I have not gotten anything done to tell you if it's going to be a problem or not. So now what we're going to do is add the next square to the other corner here. I love this color yellow. When Tango came out, when it first came out, I was like really skeptical about it, because it's just really not in my wheelhouse, you know, for colors. But the more I look at it, the more I absolutely love these colors. I mean, the yellow is not an in-your-face yellow. It's a beautiful yellow. They have some beautiful greens in it, too. I think I got some green fabric to make my grandbaby a little dress. I think I got a couple yards of Tango's fabrics. And what I may do, since she's not going to be needing it now, and she got so many clothes at her birthday, I don't need to make her any dresses. I may end up put that towards a 3-yard quilt, maybe. Maybe. I'm going to be sewing up a lot of my stash, turning it into quilts, pillowcases, things like that. I am going to try to create a designated Facebook page for my channel, and there I will put things in it that I may sell. I am getting in a selling mode right now. I am actually, today has become my sewing day, or is going to be my sewing day, because tomorrow will be I need to get rid of some stuff out of my house today. And most everyone is off work on Saturdays. I have furniture I am about to list on Marketplace now that I got my end table done. I have some end tables and lamps that I will be putting up for sale on Marketplace soon. So guys, I'm going to trim and press and be right back. So now we have our yellow bloom unit done. So now we'll do the next one, which is our red. I'm trying to see, and I also have some green ones that I need to do, but they're not going to be all the way around. I will go on and do those as well. So I'm going to start the red, and then I'll do the green as well as the red, so we can just get this show on the road. We are smashing it here. Smashing our stash as well as smashing this block. Now, were my yellow ones perfect? No. I had some that did not quite measure what they were supposed to. But I'm sure all of that will come out in the end. It's less than 1/4 of an inch, so whatever is not right can come out, you know, in that 1/4 of an inch seam. I can hide whatever it is. So it is nothing big enough to worry about. Guess I need to read about this green one, because it's a larger, this is a square right here, the one I'm doing right now. The next one is going to be a rectangle, but no reason we can't chain stitch it right on up with this one too. And it looks like, okay, we're using a different size fabric as well, so I'm just looking at the instructions, guys, just to see where we're at on this. I am really enjoying the flowering quilt along. It is so pretty. Okay, so my next piece is are my greens. I have 4 of these as well. And then we have another white. So let me grab my first green. And it shows me putting, and I'm sewing from the top left corner. We got a difference in fabric size here. One moment, let me measure. Okay, it looks like I had cut my white squares to 1/4 of an inch too big. Every single one of them. That's okay, I just trimmed every single one of them at the same time. Oh, and being that this is a bigger one, it's harder for me to tell where the center is. Okay, so we have 4 of this pretty green fabric that we're using that we will be doing the same way. No, it says make 2. So I'm not making 4, I'm only making 2. It's a good thing I read that, or I would have done all 4 of them exactly the same. But I do have to do 2 others, I think maybe the opposite direction. But once I get these 2 done, we will see what the other one has to be done at. So the next 2, okay, they will be done. It's still the same side. You're just sewing the opposite corners of the big white square. So what we do, we just put this under this needle and we sew from the inside corner. I try to match this end up before sewing, so I know, you know, it is lined up on it, at least on one end of it. We know it's lined up. Okay, so that is all the pieces that we do to make the flower part. So now I need to trim these apart, add the other pieces to the other side, and we will trim and cut after we do that. You know, we'll trim and press after we do that. But I do still have to put 3 more squares on this one, so we're not done with it yet. We're going on to do the bottom corner there. I hope you all are in your sewing room today, being able to sew. And if not, I hope you're just enjoying watching this beautiful block come together when I get to start putting it together. As I was saying earlier, I'm really enjoying this quilt along. This is the 2025 Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler Quilt Along pattern that came in our September box. I am thoroughly enjoying this one. Not only am I getting to smash my stash, I'm using up fabrics in my stash, but it does give me wonderful ideas to use other stash that I have, because I have some smaller pieces that I can't use. I have a lot of smaller pieces right now that I do need to break out and pull my AccuQuilt out and start cutting into actual usable pieces. Okay, so this one here, it looks like I did need to trim and press it. I'm not going to. I'm going to just fold this back and lay this one on top of it. Now this is for 2 blocks only, or 2 squares only, two pieces only. But I folded it back so it's not in the way there. So I'm not sewing it down. We don't want to do that. And I've seen some other creators get asked if they press. I press as I go, normally, because it just makes everything easier and flatter. It's just easier to sew, really, if everything is already pressed. Making sure I am sewing this from the correct direction, because I just about tried to sew it from the other direction. And I'm constantly checking my pattern to make sure I am doing it correctly. So this one here goes from right to left. So this piece goes from right to left. And I will fold this out of the way. And then this is our last piece here. When you hold your fabric up like this, that piece automatically folds down, so you don't really have to worry about it when you're doing this. Getting my fabric straight there so it's on that line, on that center line, or that point is. The point is on that center line. Okay, so now I've got the 4 greens completed. So I'm done with these. I'm going to just cut these off and put them over here on my ironing station to hold until it's time for me to trim. Well, it is time to trim and press, because I've got 2 of these on the red blocks done. So let me trim and press, and then we will add the remainder squares on the red, and we'll work on the green as well. Alrighty, friends, we now have, it's called the red bloom unit. We've got our red bloom unit, and we've got our left and right stem units done. I'm still working on the red bloom. So we're just going to go on and get to it, and hopefully these blocks normally, like if you're interested in doing this, that's the only reason I'm telling you the time. These blocks normally take me anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to sew them. That does not include cutting time. So if you are interested in this, Fat Quarter Shop does put the patterns out on their website. I believe the month after the box comes out. It may be 2 months. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember the time frame, because I've gotten their boxes since 2023 now. So I'm not really sure, the time frame. I did look at it, because in 2023, when I started, it was pressed flowers. That was the whole reason I started that box. Getting this box was because of that, and I am not sponsored. I am not an affiliate. You get true, honest opinions without any persuasion here. Now, would I love to be an affiliate? Would I love to get a free box? Absolutely, because they are tried and true, proven to me a wonderful box. Have I acted on becoming an affiliate? No, I have not. May I do? I may reach out to see about becoming an affiliate, because I do love their boxes. The Sew Sampler is the only thing that I get from Fat Quarter Shop. I have thought about recently, actually, instead of getting the boxes, maybe to do the mystery quilt, because this is the only thing I do. They have so many different boxes that you can do. You can do fabric boxes, thread boxes. They have so many subscription services that you can do. And this is the only one that I do. But of course, we have to budget around here. And this is the one that fits in my budget. I've never done the designer mystery quilt, which I'm really thinking about doing that one for 2025 instead of doing the sew sampler. Because I've watched several of their designer mystery quilts and they are so pretty. So I have considered doing it, but I just haven't, you know, pulled the switch yet to say yes to doing it. But like I said, it has to be budgeted for me. And right now, the sew sampler is what's in my budget. So if I go to do the designer mystery quilt, I won't get the sew sampler, which I might be sad for doing that. But I don't know. I don't know. Because when I started getting the sew sampler, I was fairly new to quilting. I was very new to quilting, actually. So I didn't have, like, all the notions. I didn't have, like, I didn't know about the threads. I didn't know about fabric lines. And I've really learned a lot getting the sew sampler box. And I've gotten some great notions that I use very frequently. So, you know, I think it's a great box. It really is a great box. But there comes a time when you start getting repeat items, thread, needles, and rotary cutter blades are always welcome. You know, so if they ever have to repeat anything, those are things I like getting. I love getting the threads. I love getting the rotary blades like these. This is an OFA rotary cutter. I didn't think I would like this, but I love this. I use this one all the time. And I also like this little one that we got. So I'm going to trim and press, and then we will start assembling our filling freesia. And friends, we have our red bloom unit. That's our red bloom unit. We've got our stem units. So now let's start assembling. Y'all, I forgot to press. I forgot how I was supposed to press. So this is probably going to come out a little wonky, but we're going to try our best to get everything to line up. So when I sew this, those points come together. Okay, I'm down on that point right there. Pull that pin out. So that's the first two. Then we have this block, and then we have another yellow and red. I have found that if I turn my square just right, it will nest on one side. On one side. But that one side is better than no side. What we're going to do is line these fabrics up here. So my guess is that is why on the first two squares that we put on, we pressed them inward, and the last two we pressed outward. And guys, I did change my needle. I did a cleaning and oiling and changed my needle before I started today, because if y'all saw, you know, okay, so I'm making two of these. Okay, so we're doing another yellow and red. We're only using two for one block and two for the other block. And these are the opposite sides of the flower stem. I'm going to call it a flower stem. And it's yellow and red. But you know, if this is not the way it goes, I can always just flip it. It's not going to be a big problem. As long as I don't hit that needle today. Making sure I'm far enough up on that block there. So we're making our 4 bloom units right here, and then we will start assembling after we press. Well, our bloom units have been made, but we're making a double bloom unit that goes on the leaves. So now I have all 4 of my bloom units. Some of them the points came together, some of them they didn't. We're not going to worry. So, and they wanted me to press these open. I'm not pressing open. That is just a headache that I'm not up for today. So what I'm ending up doing is I'm just going to line up on, now this I have to hold my thread and help guide it through, guys, because there is a seam right there where I'm starting. And it always seems to help if I hold my thread and help it go through. If necessary. It's not always necessary. Make sure everything is at that 1/4 of an inch. Making sure my fabrics line up. Okay, so that's the first 2. This is the second 2. I'm just centering my block and pinning, and I have 2 seams that come together. We're just going to hope it works out. I'm pretty certain it will, because I am trimmed down to the size that it should be. So that center should be correct. Making sure my fabrics are lined up before I put that center right through the, because sometimes when I put a needle in it, I don't know what it is, my fabric does not want to stay together, but it's okay. Okay, so that's the first 2 for that one, and then this one goes this direction, so we're going to turn that, line it all up, and put a pin in it. I like to keep as much on my sewing machine at a time as possible. So if I can chain stitch anything like that. Oh, I just hit that needle, my goodness. I try not to do that. But I just got too close to it. But anyway, I like to do as much as I can on my machine at one time, and then when I pull it off and press or whatever I need to do, I can do a lot of it at one time. To me, that saves your time, and we all like saving time when sewing, I think. Okay, so that is all of my pieces to make my flower block. So now what I have to do is, I still have 2 pieces here. I got to figure out where they go. And I have some white, that background. I'll figure that out probably in the next step. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and press these, and I'll be right back. So now we have these pieces pressed, so we're going to assemble these 2 pieces into a larger unit. And guys, it's amazing at how my center seam, now I'm going to say this and I'm going to jinx myself, but that center seam has really come together nicely on just those, the 2 pieces that we got put together. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that the luck continues. I'm not going to get close to that pin. I'm just going to pull that pin and just hope that everything stayed where it was supposed to. On one of the units, the yellow and red unit, the bloom unit, is on top. And on the second unit, the leaf unit is on top. And the press instructions are to press open. I do not press open. I'm just press. No, it is not. Not on this one. This one is all pressed to the grain. So that's what I'm doing on all of these. I'm pressing everything to the grain. So we are going to press again. And maybe we will have 2 flower units. I see that I need to add I see where my little white strip goes. It goes at the bottom, and we'll do that next. We now have both of our center units done, our flower units done. So now we're going to be adding our white strip to the bottom. And you have to check to see which one is the bottom. This one here, it starts off with the green. So that's my right flower unit. So I have to put this on this end. And no. My center seams on those last 2 did not match up right. But I am not going to really worry over that because it's not that noticeable. Not to me, it's not. It may be to y'all once I get it done, but to me, right now, it's not. The next thing that we'll do after we finish this is, of course, we will press, and then we will assemble the 2 sides on the stalk. How you can tell which is the right left, this yellow is always going to be on the left side. Or that's how it shows here. It shows all of them on the left side. But we are going to line these up and get these 2 sewn as well. Now we have both of our sides to our flower block. And our next thing is we take this strip and put it on the center. So I'm going to add it to the left side first. So all I do is just line those tops up together. I line the top of the green fabric to the top of the flower panel there. And I'm just going to get it under the needle and a few stitches in, and then I'm going to make sure that I don't, well, I'm going to grab this at the bottom. It looks like it's going to work real well, so what I do is I'm just lining up everything on that 1/4 of an inch. And it does look like I am going to have to stretch it just a little bit to make it work. But that's okay. Now we know when you have to stretch it, sometimes it makes your fabric pucker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it really well and press it. We have that first side attached. Now, measuring out your sides, I think my sides are maybe a little bit longer than what it's supposed to be. And I could have measured it out, and I didn't. I did not trim. Yeah, I'm about a 1/4 of an inch off on that. So what I will do is come down just a hair, because once I am done with the block, I will trim. And these blocks trim out, I believe, at 18.5 inches. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't have a ruler that big. Your cutting mat works, but also there is a ruler. I will show it to you. I got this when I started doing the blocks. It is a Creative Grids. It's 18.5 inches. And it's perfect for these big blocks. If you happen to be interested in maybe getting one of those, I do have a link down in the description of this video for that same exact ruler. I purchased it possibly on Amazon. I believe it on Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, and anyone that has purchased through any of my links, thank you so much. You do help me out with my channel when you do that. I do receive a very small commission. But check your local quilt shops first to see if they have what you need. We want to support local and small first. But if you buy that through a link, you are supporting me, and I am small. I am small, but support your local quilt shops first, because we want to keep them around for a long time. And you know, so many things are closing right now. So guys, let me press this. I am going to trim up, and I will be right back. Okay friends, this is the block number 6 of Fat Quarter Shops So Sampler. It is called, let me get my pattern here, Filling Freesia Block. So let's see, did we do it? Did we get it done? Yes, we did. So friends, thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed this block. I hope you have too. I hope you've been able to get in your sewing room and do a little bit of sewing. And friends, also give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye guys.